Mr. Toastmaster, and distinguished leaders of our community. Today we're going to focus on how your organization can succeed as women lead. Did you know that women represent 50% of the management positions in our workplace, but only 15% of the executive positions? Furthermore, that percentage has stayed the same for 5 years. You might say, so what? Well, it's no longer just an issue of fairness and equity for women. Having more women leaders in your organizations is a financial boost and a direction that you need to take to be financially healthy. There's recent research by Catalyst Inc. that indicates that organizations with 3 or more women on the boards are more productive and more financially stable than organizations with no women on their boards. The S&P 500 companies that are ranked in the top 10, guess what? They have 22% women on their boards. It's clear from the research that a higher number of women leaders is good for the financial health of your organization. But how do you overcome the obstacles to getting that percentage above 15%? I suggest we first start by looking at what it takes to become a good leader. The most important development task for effective leading is the development of your identity as a leader. I'll describe how it develops and why it's a greater challenge for women than for men. Your leader identity evolves as you try out new leadership behaviors and develop an elevated sense of purpose as a leader. This is a dynamic process, and we need the positive and negative feedback from all of the people that we interact with regularly on a daily basis to continue to develop that leader identity. We want to be able to influence people to follow us, and so we need to know how they see us as leaders. Those daily interactions contribute to developing our leader identity, but they're shaped by our cultural beliefs about leaders. This is where the problem comes in. Because in many cultures, when we think leader, we think male. What are leader characteristics that we look at? We look at ambition, self-confidence, independence, decisiveness. Those are the same things that we think of traditionally when we think of males. Well, when we think of women, we think of what? Nurturing, supportive, understanding, collaborative. And those aren't necessarily traditionally the characteristics that we look for in a leader. So when women take on those characteristics, there's a mismatch between the qualities of women and the qualities of leaders. And this creates the double bind. What appears as confidence and assertiveness in a man is seen as what? It's seen as arrogant, self-promoting, and the big B word, right? Yep, you knew I was going to say it. They may be seen as competent, but not likable. If they don't take on those characteristics, they're seen as likable, but maybe not competent. So if the central task in aspiring leaders is to integrate your leader identity into your core self, this task is fraught for women from the start. Women need a supportive space to develop their leader identity. The second most important aspect of developing as a leader is having effective role models. With only 15% of senior leaders being women, many organizations only have one, some have none. That's a problem. Did you know that in California, the top 400 companies, 1/3 of those companies have no women in the director and above level? So they don't have opportunities for leaders to be role models for women. If your high potential women do not have female role models within your organization to model themselves after, there's a good chance that they're going to leave. They're either going to go somewhere else that has that, or they're going to go start their own business. And those numbers are going way up in terms of women exiting corporate America. The third aspect of developing as a leader is having mentors and sponsors. The research shows that most people that have become effective leaders have had mentors and have had sponsors along the way. Well, since 85% of the executives are men, women can't rely on finding only women to provide this support for them. Women need to learn how to get and keep mentors and sponsor relationships with men and women. In summary, if you want to increase your number of effective women, you must find solutions to dismantle the obstacles in your way. First, raise awareness of the cultural beliefs about leader characteristics operating within your organization, and focus on offering women ways to develop their leader identity. This will help you build a qualified bench. 2, if you don't have women leaders who can act as role models, look for programs that include a peer advisory aspect to it. And 3, create a formal mentorship program within your organization that makes it comfortable for both mentor and mentee to develop a sustained relationship. But in the meantime, look for programs that teach women how to develop mentor and sponsorship relationships. If that's on the outside, the connections that they make with high-powered women is going to provide you with mentors at no cost and spread goodwill in your community. By adding intention to the practices within your organization and seeking out leadership development programs for women that address these challenges, you will increase the pool of women leaders and success in your business. Mr. Toastmaster.